Hello, everybody. We are here to talk about a new incredible program our team is implementing called the Big Gig. It's an exciting and innovative way to enhance the employee experience. It's going to increase growth opportunities and establish connections throughout the organization, which we're super excited about. We would not be here to talk about the Big Gig if it wasn't without our sponsorship of the Percepta president and our VP of Human Capital. So big shout out to them. Thank you for being our sponsors for this program. And joining me here today is our project leads, Nealey Whistler and Tammy Godby. So thank you for joining me. Why don't we just get into it? Nealey, why don't you tell us what the Big Gig is all about?
Well, the Big Gig is something that we started talking about a year ago during our annual leadership symposium. There was a specific group that was dedicated to career and creating growth opportunities for our employees and what kind of things should we be doing. And one of the ideas that came up was creating sort of an internal gig economy where people could sign up for different sorts of things that maybe they were interested in, or maybe they had a background in, but it wasn't their specific role at Percepta. And so that's how the Big Gig started. But we knew that just having gigs didn't sort of complete our long-term vision of creating clear pathways, longer learning opportunities, and potentially placements or building internal benches. And I know Tammy's going to talk more about all of the details of the Big Gig, but that's where it originated, and it hasn't lost any steam. And we are very much looking forward to 2023.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the framework methodology of the Big Gig. Tammy, can you go into that a little bit?
Happy to. So we've been working to develop this multi-level learning methodology. So there's going to be some on-the-job training, some e-learning, some live learning, internships, elevating this experience, right? We're going to work with about 4 tiers to the program, and each one is designed after successful completion, it moves you to an increased learning expectation kind of program and level. So it's this continuous learning path, but we're tiering it and making sure that this multi-level of learning where we have so many practical applications where people actually get to do the work and learn the skills. So we're really excited that we're able to offer these kinds of opportunities.
And what's the talent pool for these type of opportunities?
So we definitely view the Big Gig as a pretty inclusive talent management program here at Percepta. It's something that we want to open up to all of our frontline employees and really all of those positions within Percepta up to sort of the manager level. And so lots of different groups. We are piloting right now with a little bit smaller group of our G&A people, but long term, we'd love to see more opportunity for our frontline folks. So yeah, it's going to be pretty inclusive.
Yeah, we know that a lot of people learn quite differently. So some people, need to be on the job training. Some people are good with, working by themselves and doing a self-paced type work. So let's break down the learning mix for this program. Can you go into that a little bit, Nealey?
Yeah, Tammy and I are both sponsoring a few gigs right now. And one of the really important elements is that you have a plan and there is some formal training involved. So whether it's technical training or testing on tools that are needed or understanding certain processes within another department, there's that's built in. But I think the bulk of it is on the job learning. And so whether it's working alongside either a sponsor or another participant from the functional areas sponsoring the gigs, or doing it on their own, we want to give them an opportunity to really get their hands on and get to be able to experience the work. And then definitely coaching and mentoring is a big part of this. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more as well, but we really wanted to make sure that it's a blend of all 3 of those areas with a heavy focus on the job learning.
Yeah, you mentioned, mentoring and sponsorship. I'm interested on Tammy's take on why is it important to have sponsorship and mentoring in this type of program?
It is important because when you are mentoring someone, it is helping them along in their career. But when you have a sponsor, that's your champion that helps you get to that next level. They introduce you to things. They open other doors for you that might not otherwise be open. And so through this big gig, you are the opportunity for increased skills, increased learning, increased visibility, increased networking. All of those things are built in so that it helps propel the person to the next level of whatever that level might be that they want to in their career.
Yeah, it's really, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nealey.
No, that's okay. I want to add one thing onto this because I think this is something that we were really conscious of when we were planning for the pilot. And I think it was really smart is what does the role of the existing manager play and how can that person also kind of act as a sponsor or as a mentor, and stressing the importance of having those conversations with your immediate manager so that they can really help you along the way. And how do those conversations sort of happen and work? And that's been another good thing around this that we're helping existing managers with.
Yeah, really great comment on that. Tammy, we know employee engagement is your baby here. Let's talk about that. How is this going to increase the engagement or throughout the organization?
So we work in engagement on 5 pillars within Percepta. So we do meaning, autonomy, growth, impact, and connection. And when those are all firing together, it creates this employee engagement experience that we really want people to have. This big gig hits all of them. We create that meaningful experience. People understand why it's important to do the role that they're in. Then we create this path for autonomy where they get to do things on their own, which leads to the growth opportunity. What other skills can they be prepared for and learn from, which then creates the impact within the roles that they are looking for, which translates into connection, right? So then we've got all 5 of these pillars firing, and it creates this employee experience that promotes engagement. And engagement has got all positive, right? There's all positives going on for engagement. So this program is going to be a real catalyst for a lot of engagement.
Yeah, which in my opinion is going to create a lot of career pathing. It could influence retention rates. I know that these gigs, people may not be aware, but these gigs are paid gigs, which is pretty awesome. So Nealey, how do you think this will influence retention rates?
When we're recruiting people to come work at Percepta, we talk a lot about growth opportunities. I know, Meredith, you do a ton of work highlighting then and now stories on social media. Through the big gig, we're going to make some of those opportunities feel more tangible sooner in the employee experience. So we are going to have monthly delivered content on different functional areas at Percepta, what type of work they do. And our goal is to open up the big gig after 6 months of employment. That means that as a new employee, you can kind of get your feet wet in different areas while you're still, getting familiar with Percepta. And maybe you're not ready for that jump to supervisor just yet or to trainer yet. And so we're hoping that it'll help with kind of that early experience and increase retention in that space.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, starting out, I've been with Percepta for 6 months. And when I was first looking at joining the company, talent mobility was just something that really drew me in, right? And this is talent mobility on a whole nother level. This is allowing people that may not necessarily have a communications background, but are interested in social media to get their foot into the door, get to know people, connect, create mentors. It's just, it's talent mobility on steroids, which is pretty awesome. So we've talked about the foundation, the big picture. Nealey, what can we expect in the near term? Like what's coming right now?
I am looking forward to seeing the outputs of our gigs that are going on right now. The gig you're working on, Meredith, the Percepta lookbook, I can't wait to see what you and Heather come up with. That's going to be just amazing. We're launching a new social ambassador advocacy tool at Percepta. That's part of another gig. And so at the end of March, what does that look like? How many users do we have? What's the feedback from the testing that we're doing? I can't wait to hear about how our onboarding gigs go and different things we learn and can build into the processes and programs we have to bring people in. And then we're doing a lot of work with Percy Perks this year and kind of revamping it. I mean, it's there. It's still the same Percy Perks, but it's like got all of these other layers. And so bringing somebody in and getting an employee's input on our program, I'm looking forward to those immediate outcomes from the gigs that we're doing, because I know we're going to see some really amazing stuff.
Yeah. And for those people that do not know what Percy Perks is, it is our rewards and recognition program. So we're just going to really up that game and be able to reward and recognize more people at the end of the day. So we talked about the now. Tammy, what is our future looking like for the big gig?
Scale. We're working. We really want to scale this, but we want to be really intentional with this rollout, right? Well, there are a lot of details that we don't want to miss and a lot of opportunities that we want to make sure that we care for. So we're working to scale it within different functional areas within Percepta, local and global. We want to provide as many opportunities as possible that are good and appropriate. And we're working to get feedback as we go so that we can continually make this better. We're working with our sponsors, with our managers, and with the participants to make sure we gather all of that feedback so we can just continually elevate the program.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's all about the innovation of this and the transition of it and just really elevating everything, our employee experience, talent mobility, all of it. It's a lot of fun. So, well, there you have it, everybody. Thank you, Nealey and Tammy, for joining me today to talk more about this incredible initiative. And thank you to all who's joined us and watched and learned about the big gig, and be on the lookout for some more talent mobility posts coming your way, and have a great weekend.